Hello everyone, Bashar here. So we are together with another video, and in this video I want to talk to you about the destabilization mechanic. And some of you will say, that video could have been done in 2 minutes. Some of you will say this is too easy. Why are you doing a video about it? So the thing is, I have made mistakes regarding the destabilization mechanic. Right, I locked the wrong room. Right, or I lost rooms that I didn't expect to lose, which is kind of equivalent to what I just said, but yeah, I want to go over it. So, for example, that's the state of my temple now. As you can see, I am gonna say I am late mid, maybe mid, right? So early stage is definitely past. So for those of you that are curious, this is about, the several divines yield, right? And I'm talking about, pure divines, right? I'm not adding up the smaller currency. I'm getting like 6, 7. What I have in my inventory should be the loot of 2. So yeah, 13 divines. So somewhere there. Anyway, let's not get sidetracked. So how does destabilization work? So destabilization targets rooms that are not linked to other rooms and have a link all the way to the foyer, right? The entrance. So what does that mean? Sorry. Yeah, lingering cough. So what does that mean? So, at the beginning, let me just switch over to this. That's better for theory crafting. So when you are just starting, shall I just delete this? Okay. So you are just starting, right? You get some roads, right? And you also get started on your main chain like this, right? And at the beginning, you will not have any protection medallions, spy masters, that sort of thing. So how do you protect yourself from destabilization? Well, the thing is, you will be getting a lot of room cards, right? And you can just put them. What does that mean? What's this? Oh, it means road? Oh, okay. I think it means road. Okay. I see. Okay. So what you do is, let me just do this. That's actually a good one. Okay. So let me just reset this again. Sorry. So deal us some room cards. We have a thaumaturge, we have a spy master, we have a road. I'll do the road. The road alignments, just don't exist here. I'll do another road, right? So this is my original 6. So which rooms in here are open to destabilization? The answer is yes, everything is, right? I'm not counting the roads in, but roads are also open to destabilization. But let's just go over this. Actually, these roads are not open to destabilization. Why? So this spy master links all the way to the foyer and nothing is protecting it, so this spy master is open, right? This spy master is also open, right? Because it links all the way to the foyer and it's not protected. And this thaumaturge as well. So let's destabilize, right? And we lost the thaumaturge, okay? Let's say we get another 6 energy, right? We get some new stuff also. Let me just put the architect here somewhere randomly, okay? So we get a golem. We get a treasury thingy. And so the thing is, roads can soak up destabilizations as well. So, you can do some roads. Okay, so I did a lot of roads here. And so this treasure vault doesn't help. So which rooms are open to destabilization here? Right? This room, this room, this room, and this room. Right? So this room has a 0% chance of destabilization alongside with this one and this one. So why? Because this room is being protected by this, right? This has to go before this can go, right? This room is protected by this room, and this room. So in order for me to lose this room, I would have had to a size destabilization of size 4, right? This room will not disappear if I don't have a destabilization of the magnitude of 4 rooms, right? Because, and even then, It will not be a guaranteed destabilization. Why? Because I could just lose this one, this one, this one, and this one, right? So that's why we are building huge chains, right? And one room at the end, and then we protect that room, boom. Nothing can be destabilized. So again, let's, so the treasure room doesn't help here. Let's destabilize. I lost the golem. Okay. Okay. We are not really getting too much, are we? Okay. Okay. So I'm not putting up any more rows. I could, right? There's no problem. So yeah, let's destabilize again. Let me actually do a few rooms here. So guys, let's assume for the sake of argument, I did get a little bit started. So I am starting on my main chain. So what's going to happen at this point of destabilization, right? What can be destabilized? This room, this room, this room, this room, this room, and this, and this. Nothing else can be destabilized. But think about this, right? This is important. This, I'm talking about, you know, a destabilization of one room only, right? If we are getting two, anything linked to the squares I just mentioned, which are not protected, are open to destabilization. So for example, if I have a destabilization of two rooms here, that can mean I can lose this one and this one, right? It's not likely, but it can happen, right? Because, you know, the first destabilization has to target this, and then the second destabilization has to target this. The probability is very low. Why? Because how many rooms do we have open to destabilization? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there is a 1 in 7 chance that it hits this garrison, right? And then there is a 1 in 6 chance it hits this one. So if I destabilize two rooms here, only 1 out of 42 times will I be losing these both, right? And obviously that's going to happen and it's going to drive you mad, but that's the thing. So that's why these garbage rooms are important at the beginning, right? So let's say I put a few more rooms in here. And some more here. You know, just random stuff. And you shouldn't be keeping this many rooms in the middle actually, but still. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. No. Okay, so as you can see, so this is not, you know, written in stone. Around two rooms will be destabilized, right? This is not, as I said, written in stone. It does vary. So sometimes it will say you will lose around two rooms here. You will lose one room. Sometimes it will say you will lose around two rooms at a later stage, and you will lose actually three. So, you know, take this a bit of a grain of salt. But thing is, at this point, it's going to destabilize two rooms, which means, so all of these three rooms are open to destabilization. Right? This is the more complicated version. Now, let me get into this. So why? Because I can start from this square, right? And I can do this, which leaves, this means that this armor is extra, right? So that means this armor is open to destabilization. And also I can start from this barrack again, and I can go from the armory to the garrison, which means the spy master is also open to destabilization. And obviously this is our main chain and we want to protect this. That's why we lock the spy master in place and try to lose these two before moving on. So that's how, sorry. That's how this destabilization works. So we are going to have two rooms destabilized. What can we lose? Everything in here, this dynamo, and any of these three squares. But this one is not open to destabilization. Why? Because thing is, even if I start from here, or here, or here, as you can see, I have to pass through this barrack, right? This barrack is protected. So it can't be destabilized. But, you know, the first destabilization can hit this armory. And then this one, nope, still can't do. Even a destabilization of 2 cannot hit this one, right? So For example, if you are using the protection medallion on this one in a situation like this, you are wasting yours, right? Which has happened to me. That's why I'm, telling you. So, and if these two rooms connect somehow, for example, let me change this into a garrison. As you can see now, we have a connection, and these rooms will protect each other. So this room won't be able to be destabilized before this armor destabilizes, and so on, right? And this is very important to understand when you have a rather bigger structure. So, for example, what's going on here? Can't? Okay. These will have to go away, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. When you have a grid all like this is not really my liking. Okay. That's not good. It's not good either. I want to form a grid here and, show you guys, but hold up. Let me see. Let me do this. Let me clear this place. Smithy. Okay. So, okay, this is horrible, right? This is what you should be exactly not doing when you are doing your temple. Huge grids like this, because, if you have a grid like this, the destabilization is going to be huge, right? So right now, all of these rooms are open to destabilization. All 6, right? So imagine getting enough protection medallions to protect this, right? And thing is, sadly, when you are building a high level temple, you will have to have a structure of this sort at some point, which will need like 3 protection medallions to keep intact. It's not exact like this, but it's very similar to this, so you would have to do that. Why? So for example, guys, let's go over this, right? So these are a little bit more simple now. So I can do this, right? This outer layer, which means all of these 3 are open to destabilization. I can also do this inner, which means all of these outer layer are also open to destabilization. And that's why you don't form loops, right? It's a bad thing to do because, it leaves so much open to destabilization. You can lose, many temple rounds of work in a single setting. So that's why we do huge chains. So for example, guys, if I have a chain like this, right? So this is a chain, as you can see. Everything is connected to the previous square, right? And if I protect this spy master, all of these previous squares are protected, right? They can't destabilize. And the thing is, the protection medallion, Huatalotli's medallion, overrides everything. So for example, if you have a room, let's say a corruption chamber, right? And goes all the way to level 3. Yeah, I mean, let me connect the thaumaturge or something here. No, that's not the one. That's not the thaumaturge. Okay. That should have upgraded to level 3. No. Anyway, let's just assume that this is a tier 3 corruption chamber, right? Next tier needs sacrificial chamber or thaumaturges. I mean, I did put them. That's a little bit weird. Okay. Okay, so you can't use 2 upgrades. I just couldn't demonstrate what I meant, but... Okay, that's gonna do it. Okay, so this is what I meant, let me explain what I meant. So the thing is, guys, there are some tier 3 rooms that drop valuable stuff when you use them, right? So for example, this sacrificial chamber. This sacrificial chamber is the most valuable one. You can have only one of it, and it's gonna drop a 10 divine item, 10, 13 divine item every time you use it, right? It's called cultivation orb, which is the thing that we use to double corrupt items, right? And obviously it is very lucrative, right? Every single run guaranteed 10 divine drop, right? It's beautiful, but the catch with these, or this is also tier 3 now, the catch with these rooms, that's the drop valuable stuff, is that they destabilize upon use. So, I go to this sacrificial chamber, right? I use it, right? And at the end of the run, it's going to auto destabilized, right? 100%. But the protection medallion trumps this, right? If you grab the wild cultivation orb and you protect it, it's not going to go away. And what's better is you just put this, and now it's protected in the way of the chain, right? I mean, so guys, this altar of sacrifice is not open to destabilization because it's being protected by this thaumaturge, right? So this thaumaturge has to be removed before this can be, right? So, this is pretty important, right? When I say protected, I mean as long as this thaumaturge is intact, this sacrificial chamber cannot destabilize. But if this thaumaturge gets removed, the sacrificial chamber can be, right? But at this point, we will have a destabilization of 2, and it can, mostly unlikely, but it can remove this thaumaturge, and then it can remove the sacrificial chamber, right? And I'm not very sure if I lose the thaumaturge, then the auto destabilization of the sacrificial chamber triggers, right? I'm not very sure about this. It can be or it can't be. Generally, the idea is, protect it all the time, or have it in the middle of your chain where it's safe. So yeah, basically, guys, the definition for destabilization is: can I start from that room and go all the way to the beginning, and is that room protected by other rooms? If the answer is no, it is open to destabilization. And obviously, the Huatolotlis medallion, the protection medallion, overrides this. So, for example, let me do a grid here again. Nope. Oh, okay, that's correct. So guys, let's say I have a grid here like this, right? And if I protect this barrack here, right, the one that it's in the outer layer, so the destabilization will have to follow the other course, right? And as you can see, I can start from this armory, right? I can go to this barrack, and then I can follow this path, which means these two are open to destabilization. And this one isn't because it's protected. And this one also isn't. Why? Because if it were to destabilize this spy master, it would break the route from this Legion barrack that is protected to the beginning, which is not allowed. So it can't happen, right? So only these two are open to destabilization. And yeah, that's about it for the destabilization mechanic, guys. And I know maybe it sounds a little bit, dull, but, count on it that if you are not very experienced, that you will lose rooms that you didn't expect to lose at some point. It happened to me very recently, and this, is my temple, right? I have invested a lot of time in it, right? I have invested a lot of time in understanding temple. Still, at this point, I protected some stuff, and I lost something that I didn't expect to. So yeah, but the more important thing is, at least I was able to figure it out, right? I was able to understand why that happened. And this is one of the best temples in the game when it's finalized. And I am going to, prepare a step-by-step video for this. Because the thing is, you can look at the final product and you can say, oh, that's very nice, let me get started on it. And, when you actually get there, at some point you're not able to place the room, right? Because that's not how it's built. That's the end product. And the actual building is much different. So, for example, guys, I will not be having any of these rooms when it's done, right? I will have some stuff here, but I will not have any of these rooms when it's done. So that's about it. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.